Since it's time to be a little with which one of you? What will you do? When the stakes are the border rise, it's no time to make a compromise. Turn to the river, shuffle to the bridge, never we find out just what it is.
Hey guys, welcome back to Nit-Wit Poker. I'm Charles Alexander, creator of this channel. First and foremost, if you guys haven't already, please go down, subscribe to my channel, like the videos, comment on a few things. I could always use all the constructive criticism I can get right now. I'm very, very new to the editing process and still have a ton to learn. So if you guys have any great ideas, please let me know in the comments below. Well, I'm doing this kind of backwards today. I'm doing a home game. It starts off a little bit later. So we're going to go ahead and go to the local business first, show you what they have to offer, and then we'll cut away into the game. If you guys would prefer to see this version done as opposed to having me go to the local business afterwards to do the wrap-up, just let me know. I'm up to making any kind of changes that need to be made to help you guys better enjoy this content. Again, we're going to a home game. It's going to be a 50-cent home game, starting off with about $100. We're going to be 5-handed throughout the entire night. So let's go check out the local business, and then we'll head to the felt. All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks. Before we go play at one of our local home games, we're going to start off the night with some delicious barbecue. We make a drive to Kill, Mississippi and stop in at the Thump Keg. They are relatively new to the Gulf Coast and started serving the delicious barbecue in 2021. We take a seat and look at their menu and all they have to offer. My wife and I decide on the tater kegs to start off with. It tastes like a fried mashed potato cloud from heaven. Dip it into a little wrench and you are good to go. Both my wife and I decided on having the 2-meat option meal. I chose sausage and pulled pork with the twice-baked potato and onion tangled as my sides. She chose the brisket and burnt ends with the twice-baked potato and baked beans as her sides. Before your meal comes out, they hand you 3 bottles of sauce. The bottle with the white sauce is their Alabama barbecue sauce. The bottle with the dot is their Carolina sauce, and the third bottle is their sweet and tangy sauce. All 3 were very, very good. Both meals were outstanding. The meat was super tender and delicious, and the sides were just as great. Stop by if you're ever this way, you won't be disappointed. The first hand I get involved with, I look down and see the Jack of Spades to the 10 of Hearts. It's connected and I have a face card, so why not? I'm in the cutoff and we make the call for $1. It gets to the small blind who raises it up to $2. The big blind makes the call and I toss in $1 to see a flop. The flop is the Ace of Hearts, King of Hearts, and 5 of Spades. So I have a gut shot straight draw and a possible backdoor flush draw. The small blind leads out $2 and then the big blind raises to $6. I'm definitely behind here. We're looking for a queen or some runner card. I don't think me hitting a pair will be enough. I probably should just fold, but I make the call like a donkey. The small blind comes along just for the call. The turn comes the 9 of Hearts. There's one of my runner cards. Let's see what happens here, and then I will decide if I want to continue. It checks around to me, so I gladly check back. The river is the Jack of Clubs. This card probably hurts me more than helps me, even though I make a pair. The small blind leads out for $6. The big blind now re-raises to $20. Okay, I go ahead and wipe the poo off my shoes with my cards and throw them away. The small blind deliberates for a little while, then makes the call. They both turn their cards over to show 2 pair. The small blind has the Ace of Spades and Jack of Diamonds, and loses to the big blind who has the Ace of Clubs and King of Clubs. Let's see if we can do better in the next hand. I'm in the cutoff with the Queen and 9 of Clubs. It lips around to me and I raise $4. This doesn't scare anybody too much because 3 players put in a call and we're headed to the flop. The flop comes a Queen of Diamonds, 7 of Spades, and King of Diamonds. It checks to me. The This flop is super connected, and I just have middle pair with an average kicker. There are 4 of us in the hand. I don't think a c-bet will accomplish a whole lot. If someone has something really strong here, I risk getting check raised. So in order to see more than one street, I check along with them. The turn is the 5 of spades. The small blind checks. The big blind bets $1. Under the gun, myself and the small blind all make the call. The river brings us the queen of spades. The small blind leads out for $6. Which, how the action has gone, he's sized up quite a bit, but is only about the quarter of the pot. Well, what does he have? He's taken the betting lead, which means that this card has more than likely helped him. The big blind and under the gun both fold. I probably should fold this a good amount of the time, but I reluctantly make the call. I'm shown the bad news. He turns over jack and 4 of spades. He caught that backdoor flush. Not off to a great start. I'm down to $81 from a starting stack of $100. The next notable hand I'm involved with, I have Queen of Diamonds and Jack of Hearts on the button. Under the gun has gotten a little tilty here recently. He raises up $15 pre-flop. The cutoff thinks for a little bit before making the call. I've got position, 2 face cards, and 2 people on the pot already. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, so of course I'm in. The flop is the Queen of Clubs, Jack of Diamonds, and the 5 of Spades. That's the absolute best flop I've seen all night. No flush possibilities, just a straight draw out there. The only hand I'm truly afraid of is pocket 5s. Under the gun goes all in for $19. The cutoff just makes the call. I really feel I'm ahead of the cutoff. I don't think he's slow playing. I think either he may be sharing a queen with me or that he may be on a draw. So I go ahead and go all in for $53 more. The cutoff snap calls. We all decide to turn over our cards. Under the gun had pocket kings. The cutoff has Queen of Hearts and Jack of Clubs. What the fluff? Of course we're sharing the same hand. So now we're just trying to have a clean run out so we can split this pot. The turn is the 2 of Diamonds and the river is the 4 of Spades. The cutoff and I chop the pot. At least things are starting to turn around a little bit. I'm under the gun and take a peek at my cards. I see the 7 and 8 of clubs. I like middle suited connectors. They play pretty well most flops. I'm not a big fan of them in this position, however, but I've been card dead. We're 5-handed anyways, so it's not bad for being 5-handed, and whatever other poor excuse you can assert here for me making this call. I limp in under the gun for $1. The button says, no limping here, and he goes ahead and makes it $4. The small blind calls, and of course I'm in there too. Here comes the flop. Please, 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 please give me a decent flop. It comes out the 3 of Diamonds, 8 of Spades, and Ace of Hearts. Not bad, but not great. I'm first to act, and I check. The small blind checks, and the button c-bets for $6. He's going to do that a lot, whether he hits the flop or not. The small blind and I both make the call. The turn comes the 4 of Spades. Unless either of them has 2-5, then this shouldn't change anything. We all just end up checking. So when the river comes out the 4 of clubs, I think this should change absolutely nothing. The small blind bets out for $16. Why would he check the turn and now bet the river? This smells super fishy, like he's trying to buy the pot. His bet is roughly half the pot. If he had an ace, I think he continues betting on the turn most of the time. I flick in a call and the small blind folds. I ask what he has, and then he says I'm good. I turn my hand over and he mucks his cards, and I scoop in this pot as I'm slowly building up my stack. I'm in the small blind. The cutoff raises to $4. I look down at the 6 and 8 of Spades. Me and 2 other players make the call. The flop comes 8 of Hearts, 2 of Hearts, and 2 of Clubs. It's a pretty good flop for me. I want to protect my hand, and since there are a lot of turn cards I don't want to see, I go ahead and bet out $12, which is about 2/3 of the pot. The cutoff is the only one to make the call. The turn is the King of Diamonds. It's one of the cards I didn't want to see. However, when I look over at the cutoff, he doesn't seem too thrilled about it either. I lead out for $20, and he makes the call. The river comes a big old brick, the 3 of Spades. I start to grab my chips. As I pull $30 out of my stack, he folds and tells me I'm good. I will gladly pull chips my way. My stack is now at $180. Almost double my buy-in. Things have really started to turn around. The last hand I'm involved with is a doozy. Get your seatbelts ready and strap in. I'm under the gun and straddle it for $2. The first and only straddle of the night. I rarely, if ever, straddle. I feel if you do, you should probably do it all the time or not at all. So for whatever reason, I decide it's a good idea in this moment. It gets around to the small blind, who must love his hand because he raises it to $22 pre-flop. The big blind is really thinking about his hand. It seems he has a good hand, but not quite good enough to make the call. He thinks and ponders it over for a little while before he finally decides on the call. I squeeze my cards tightly and reveal pocket jacks. This is the best starting hand I've seen all night. 5-handed pocket jacks is pretty strong. I'm jumping up and down with joy in my head. Now it's time to get max value pre-flop. I 3-bet to $66. The small blind counts out his chips. After the 44 he puts in the pot, he just has a couple of bucks left. Now the big blind also counts out his chips. He only has roughly $10 or so after the $44. He just makes the call too. So since this is a friendly house game, we all talk about and decide just to run the cards out since they're pretty much all in anyways. We all decide to turn over our cards as well. The small blind turns over pocket 4s. The big blind turns over pocket 7s. I've got both players dominated for a pot that's almost $200. It's by far our biggest pot of the night. Poker gods, please don't do me dirty. Let this run out be a clean one. The flop is the 6 of spades, the 4 of spades, and the 5 of diamonds. Well, there goes that. I go from being a pretty big favorite to really far behind. I need a jack and a jack only. The turn is the 10 of clubs, and the river is the 3 of spades. Somehow the big blind sucks out on the small blind and rivers a straight. Man, you gotta love this game. What a crazy turn of events. The big blind drags in the biggest pot of the night. We call the game a few minutes later, and we rack up our remaining chips. Wow, what a crazy session. Start off with $100. Couldn't get anything going at first. Kept running into bad situations. On top of me making some not so great plays. Kind of typical of poker just in general. But started building my stat back up as the night went on. Almost had it double. Was feeling pretty good. Then got involved with that last hand. You know, get your money in when you have the best of it, was what I did. It just didn't turn out the way I was hoping to. Which is poker in a nutshell. I mean, you're going to have days when you do the correct things and it's not going to pay you off immediately. Just kind of stick with it and just understand that's part of the ebbs and flows of this game. So yeah, if you guys liked this style or form and want me to implement more of the house games, let me know, comment below. As always, please, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, click that subscribe button down the bottom. If you could, leave a like, comment, and I will see you guys next episode. Thank you guys for watching as always. Bye-bye now.